Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope everyone's morning is coming along well. Today, I wanted to come on to offer some training and some information on those behaviors that we may not be able to identify the function of those behaviors that may be interfering with their learning, their social skills, or emotional skills, or behavioral skills, especially within the classroom setting. As always, you can contact me. This is my contact information right here. Give me 1 second. Just want to change the screen out. All right, so this is what we call a motivation assessment scale. This scale can be administered by the staff or completed by staff or can be given to parents to complete. Very simple. So basically, just going to go through this whole scale here. You will put the student's name. The rater is the person who's actually given those responses. So it's the mom, the dad, whomever it may be, day, date, and the description of the behavior. So this is really important because if it's a tantrum or if it is stemming or if it is getting out the seat or hyperactivity, whatever it could be, we definitely want to be able to describe it in operational terms, meaning that we should be able to describe it in a way where if somebody else came along to see the same behavior, they will understand that that is that behavior. So, for instance, if it's tantrums, everyone's tantrum is different. So, for this kiddo or student, it could be falling to the floor, it could be whining, crying, or screaming, etc. So, whatever it could be, um, you can describe that there. All right. So when it comes to this scale, based off the behavior that the student is engaging with, now if it's more than one behavior, don't want to make it complicated, but if you want to go ahead and describe two different behaviors, maybe number one, number two, but typically you may want to use a different scale for just keep it separate so it's not as confusing. So if we were just doing one per form, if this was tantrums, so regarding tantrums for all the questions, would the tantrums occur continuously if the person was left alone for long periods of time? 0 is never and 6 is always. So someone will rate that. Does the tantrum occur following request to perform a difficult task? 0, never, and 6 is always. Does the tantrum seem to occur in response to you talking to others in the room? Once again, you will rate that. Does the tantrum ever occur to get a toy, food, or an activity that the person has been told he or she cannot have? Would the behavior occur repeatedly in the same way for long periods of time if the person was alone, rocking back and forth for hours, is an example? Does the behavior occur when any request is made of the person? Once again, 0 to 6. Does the tantrum occur whenever you stop attending to the person? Number 8. Does the behavior occur when you take away a favorite toy, food, or activity? Sorry, I said that backwards. Food, toy, or activity. Does it appear to you that the person enjoys doing this behavior? Does this person seem to do this behavior to upset or annoy you when you're trying to get him or her to do what's asked? Does this person seem to do this behavior to upset or annoy you when you're not paying attention to him or her? For instance, if you're in another room or interacting with another person. Does the behavior stop occurring shortly after you give the person food, toy, or requested activity? Once again, 0 to 6. Number 13, when the behavior is occurring, does this person seem calm and unaware of anything else going on around her or him? Number 14, does the behavior stop occurring shortly after 1 to 5 minutes you stop working with or making demands of this person? Number 15, does this person seem to do the behavior to get you to spend more time with her or him? 0 to 6. And last, number 16, does the tantrum seem to occur when this person has been told he or she can't do something that he or she wanted to do? So you can either leave this blank and return it back to me, but if you wanted to kind of get an idea of how is this is gathered, so for each question, whatever number you rated, that number would go accordingly. So for number one, if you had set 0 for tantrum, 0 to, I mean, different numbers you'll have associated. So I typically would just total each column right here. And then based off the total, so say for instance, tangible had the highest total, then I will rank it from 1 to 4. And so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is the primary, which is tangible, for example, of the function of the behavior. So there's 4 functions. There's tangible, attention, escape, and sensory. So sensory tends to be the self-stimulating, neurological, internal senses that the person is engaging in certain behaviors that has nothing to do with any setting or any other individual. There's a lot of times you'll see stimming, you may see rocking back and forth, or other behaviors a person just engaging on their own. Escape, meaning a lot of times the individual may be trying to avoid a difficult task or avoid transitioning. So they may try to escape and leave that designated area when told to sit or stand or be positioned in a certain location. Attention is the function when, say, the individual is attention seeking, as they would call it. When the attention is not on them, then that's when they have the outburst or speaking out of turn or disrupting others or disrupting their own learning, because the attention may be now on someone else or something else. So instead of using their words or instead of asking for help when they truly need help, this is the behavior that tends to happen. And then tangible, when something is wanted that cannot be given at that maybe particular time, a lot of times that's when that behavior may uh, escalate. So once again, these are all the functions, and with these functions, we'll be able to describe uh, what the interventions could be like, proactive strategies, reactive strategies, a replacement behavior to replace the behavior that is inappropriate or ones that are disturbing their environment and themselves with their learning so that we can replace it with something more functional. So this scale is definitely important as a starting basis. And like I said, it's important to get as much feedback as possible, whether from parents and for staff. Okay. So once again, that is the motivational assessment scale. If you are would like a copy, I definitely will send out a copy. And also, if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one consult with me, feel free to do so at changinglanesinterventions@gmail.com, or you can give me a call if you need to reach me at 770-580-4116. Okay? Until next time. Bye.